The Master MasterMouse S unfortunately came with a cable that was not smooth. They've been working hard to get that fixed, and now we're finally seeing the updated copies. This is one of my most anticipated mice, because I felt I could aim so well with the shape. It's a small to medium mouse, and has a lot of the right features. Here's something interesting though, it only weighs about 93 grams, which is fine, but it feels a little unbalanced. Someone said there's a weight inside, so I opened up one of the copies with a bad cable, and sure enough, there it is. A 13 gram weight added for no apparent reason. So we could have a roughly 80 gram small to medium mouse, but someone was told that heavier mice are better. This seems to be really common among people who don't play first person shooters, so don't hate them for it. It's just market research. I don't think the weight should be in there. And unfortunately, you have to destroy the mouse feet to get to the screws. So it would be nice if they included a replacement set. Also, you only have to take off the back feet to open it up. I have to say, without the extra weight, it feels even better. So I've let Cool Master know this, and hopefully they change it in the future. I guess that's the main message in this review. Cool Master have a winning shape and a potentially great mouse here. It's just not quite ready yet. There are also quality control issues too. At the back of the mouse here, it's smooth on the other copies, but both new copies they sent me have this slight ledge, because this panel isn't fitted correctly. Again, we could fix that by opening it up. But I really like this mouse, and a major reason is the shape. Here's a quick tour so you know why. It's an ambidextrous design with buttons on the left side only, and each side has a rad shape. They have a horizontal curve for the thumb or a finger rest, and there's a slight vertical curve to assist with picking it up. The back is rounded and comfortable. Here's a look at the other side, and the mouse feet are fairly smooth, but that bottom edge can scrape a bit at times, depending how you angle it. The good news is it might just be this batch, and it hasn't actually affected my gameplay. And also, the buttons have some nice comfort grooves. It has a gradual slope, and the hump is more toward the back. The measurements are 5.6 centimeters at the fingers, by about 11.6 for the total length, and the height is around 3.5. I think this is close to ideal for my hand size of about 18 by 9 centimeters, but it could work for palm grip below 17 centimeters, claw grip between 15 and 19.5, and fingertip between 16 and 20. Here's what it looks like next to an FK2 and Death Adder, so you can get an idea of the general size of it. Moving on to the buttons, here is a listen to the clicks. Left and right have a good amount of resistance. They feel good with a nice snap, but not too loud. The wheel is harder to press in, but has a comfortable click. And scrolling up and down, it has noticeable steps, but is also pretty smooth. There is a very slight loose feel to it, but this is one of the better scroll wheels that I've used. The side buttons feel cheap and plasticky, but they're smooth and don't have much travel, so they're good enough. And the DPI button is thin and out of the way, no accidental clicks. In the latency testing, neither test is accurate, but together they give a good indication, and it appears they're similar to the G403, but maybe with a slight delay. So that's a good performance. Checking the 3330 sensor, which is meant to be a downgraded 3360, it performs well in rocket jumping, and I can't make it spin out even throwing the mouse as fast as I can. And even in the tilt slam test, I can't get it to spin out. This is one of the few sensors that can handle this, so even a downgraded 3360 is still excellent. Zooming in for the sniper test, it tracks pixel by pixel and it does it smoothly. Tested at 400 and 1600 DPI. I don't have an accurate acceleration test, but this appears to have none. The liftoff distance set to low is under 1 DVD on cloth and hard pads, and set to high it's 1 DVD on cloth and hard pads. There's no delay that I can feel, and testing the 360, it's the same as the G403. In the line tests, no jitter, no angle snapping and no skipping, but the liftoff movement is a little exaggerated, especially considering how low the liftoff distance is. For the build, when tapping and shaking it, there is some slight sound caused by the scroll and something else. So it's not perfect, but it's not too bad either. The materials are a smooth plastic. I think they could actually find better plastic, but it's decent. And the cable is 1.8 meters long, and now smooth, which was the main thing. It's usable, but unfortunately it is pretty tight, so it will take some time to get set up. After a while, it wasn't bothering me in game. Still something they can work on though. In the software, you can change what the buttons do with a range of options, including the usual mouse and keyboard functions, multimedia and macro, and also rapid fire for keyboard and mouse. The macro editor seems versatile and records mouse functions as well as keyboard. Also, with the Storm TX functionality, you can bind a button to hold in, which then changes what the other buttons do. Great for doubling the amount of commands on the mouse. It's RGB and the colors seem quite accurate. The transition is smooth and I have to say it looks great on the mouse. For DPI you can go from 100 to 7200 in steps of 50, and of course the usual features as well as lift-off distance. You can also surface tune to your mousepad. In conclusion, this is getting so close to being my personal favourite. There are so many things to like about it, and I'm really happy to see Cooler Master going in this direction. And while it's a relatively cheap mouse, I would be happy to pay more for it if they could fix the issues, remove the wafers from the top, so we don't need extra mouse feet, and make the cable more flexible. I will say that I told them not to worry about flexibility so much, as it was the smoothness that made it unusable. But of course, flexibility is still something we want. And then lastly, just upgrade the overall quality of materials and the build. We should have an amazing mouse. The shape is very good, the buttons and scroll feel good, the sensor performs like a 3360, and the weight is good despite having the unnecessary weight inside. And best of all, I put it against the FK2, which is my main mouse at the moment, and I think I hit better shots with it. I can barely tell the difference in aiming ability, but I just feel a bit more in control of it. So even in its current state, this is still one of my favourite mice. I love using it and I play very well with it. I can recommend it, but please be aware it's not perfect. Great mouse, but like most, it could be better. The other problem right now is that the old stock with the unusable cable would still be out there. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, you can get one with a smooth cable. Which would I choose between it and the FK2? For aim, the slight advantage goes to this, so I guess the answer is this, but for comfort and quality, the FK2 is better. I'll leave it to you to decide what's important. Hope that helps. Special thanks to Cooler Master for sending these out for testing and review. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next versions of this. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave the usual links in the description. As always, subscribe, share and like this video, and I'll catch you in the next.